Hello, once again, I'm Barry Schultz, SP500. Thank you for joining me on this July 23rd of 2025. Essentially, what I want to do is show you why I believe that the Great Depression will start around September of 2030, because that's where I believe that the final bottom in the macro view of mortgage rates will occur. I think the low in interest rates or mortgage rates at the very end of 2030 will then bring on the Great Depression. So, and my target for February 2028 or September 2030 is about 10,347 on the S&P 500, and the Great Depression would start in about 265 weeks. And again, I think this will be brought on largely due to the debt market and interest rates. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump to the model. So the interest rate model, the ticker symbol TYX on Yahoo Finance gives you the 30-year mortgage rate or the 30-year CBOE. I don't know. I'm not a financial professional, so you can go look at that if you want. But essentially, it correlates. It has a very high beta with mortgage rates. It's not the exact 30-year mortgage rate. It is something that correlates. I find it has a very high beta with a 30-year mortgage rate. So I assume that's where the general public is going to land as far as refining and things like that. So I believe that's what's going to cause the Great Depression. And so this technique I used for a long time. It helps predict where the macro bottoms are. So essentially, it predicted that there'd be a bottom in interest rates in late 2008 from 3 touch points on the Einstein model here. You can kind of see the 3 touch points that the white diagonal line is walking up, and then then that trajectory runs into that black horizontal, and that's the reset point for interest rates. So that's the lowest point. Okay. And then we had yet another 3 touch points on the teal blue diagonal, going into early 2021, so like that January 2021 period. So if you hadn't refied by by the end of 2020, that's where the low in interest rates were, right? And so what's really nice about September 2030 is you can see very crystal clear 1, 2, 3 touch points on that green diagonal line. The first being that major low in late 2008. The second point being in early 2012, and then the third point being in late 2015. So those 3 touch points create a final bottom in interest rates around Labor Day of 2030. And then I believe interest rates will witness a big move up. And then I believe that is the grounds by which the Great Depression, the debt market, everything unwinds. If it's going to happen, it looks like everything is set up for that 2031 through 2034. Again, that's if. But from everything I'm seeing, it's still that time window, right, is still able to hold a 100-year depression, just like the 1830s, 1930s. And sure enough, it looks like with interest rates bottoming at the end of 2030, that 2031 through 2034 period could really hold some economic upheaval, some really hard times economically. So my goal is to try to pay off all my debts and things of that nature by the end of 2030. It'd be my dream if if the Lord would permit me to pay off my house and everything by the end of 2030, because I'm afraid that things are going to get very bleak economically. At least it has a really high probability of happening from 2031 through 2034. Thank you for joining me. If you want to follow the gifting and everything that's on the GoFundMe page, I will run my GoFundMe page through the end of 2034. So if my models for some reason help someone out there extremely, and they're able to really survive the economic crisis I think that's coming, it does unfold as I predicted, and obviously all those things would have to happen first. But if it does, and someone benefits greatly from my work, Maybe you want to throw me some donations during the Great Depression, right? Maybe you're going to wait until the Great Depression is largely in swing before you even donate, just to make sure that all my timing is from here forward is on target. Obviously, I missed the S&P's bottom in April. I failed at that horribly, and so I have to say that in every video because I get reminded of it in comments, and rightly so. It was a huge failure of mine, so I apologize once again. I suffered a pretty big loss on that as well, so I don't want to make light of that in any way, shape, or form, and I want to admit my full failure in that, so people know that I take responsibility, and as well as obviously myself, right? Just owning up to it. So hopefully you find me slightly different than other forecasters. There's quite a few forecasters that won't admit they're wrong about anything. But I hope that you see that I want to be humble enough to admit that I'm wrong. And so that way I can enjoy it when I'm right? So, all right. Well, thank you so much for following my work, and hopefully, maybe speak with a financial professional in 2030. See what you can do to really minimize your interest rate exposure, and hopefully, reduce as much as you can as far as debt payments and things of that nature at that time, if it unfolds as I predict. And obviously I'm not a licensed professional, so please speak with a licensed professional about all these things in the year 2030. And we've got about 265 weeks until then. That's it for me today, and as we wait for the markets to crash into early August of 2025, I just thought this would be an interesting model to share with you. Thank you so much. Again, this is just a snippet of the GoFundMe page. I didn't want you to forget that, so thank you. And please bookmark it, whatever, and watch it over the next decade or into late 2034. Thank you so much.